little tomfoolery. Fools.
We can talk a little bit about this if that's okay, but it's only because it's been weighing on my. It's really difficult right now. My poor mom, Julie, is going through some rough patches right now, man. We found out. Well, we knew she had an autoimmune disease. She has ulcerative colitis, and she broke her leg. It's probably been a couple months. It's been a few months now. She broke a leg that she actually broke a year ago, and it's just in a different spot. And that really, she's 69, which a lot of people keep saying is not very old. But what you don't know is this lady has been in and out of hospitals probably the last 20 years with all kinds of major issues. And this one's the most serious. She has ulcerative colitis. We just found out she has another disease, and it's it's called small vessel ischemic disease. I don't know if I'm saying that one word right, but it's basically like the vessels, her blood vessels in her brain are real tiny, and it basically brings on dementia, strokes, and
because she's almost having little mini strokes up there or whatever.
Yes. So she's in the hospital right now with beyond. I've never seen anything like this before. She has 3 bed sores where you literally can see her bones. Like,
Rob,
dude, the pain she's in. And you're talking to her, and when you hear about this other small vessel disease, it makes so much sense. We just found out about it. They did a CT scan, and that's how they found out. You'll be talking to her, and she's having like a conversation, and then all of a sudden she just kind of spaces out, and that's when she's having like a little mini stroke.
Wow.
You don't see her. She's not epileptic. She's not having seizures or anything, but she just kind of, it's almost like she's looking through you. And dude, she's not eating. I've never seen my mom this skinny before. She's like beyond skinny, and she's not eating, and you have to eat to make these bed sores. You need protein so that they can heal from within. They have to heal. I'm like, why don't we just sew them up? And they're like, they got to heal from within first.
Wow.
So me and my sister, who we're not the closest,
right?
I've had to kind of put all that aside, and we're working on it right now. And today we just found out that they're talking about sending her to rehab,
right?
And but you have to be able to feed yourself, and you have to want to work and get up and start moving, and she needs to move, or else none of this stuff will ever heal, And so she's not doing any of that, and they've tried getting her up, and she's in so much pain from those bed sores and everything that it's just killing her, and she just cries.
And Heather's there now. Is Brady? And also
yes,
she had COVID on this, so Brady had COVID.
Yeah, she got COVID from it too. She must have got it from the hospital, because me, my nephew, and her fiance were the only ones there to visit her, and none of us had it. But after she got it, they both got it. So I'm the only one who didn't get it out of all of them, because we all went back and tested ourselves right away, and they didn't have it. And then like 2 days later, they were both sick as crap. And so, dude, I don't know. It's not looking good.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. And then, so you got to be with her, then had to leave. Then Heather was with her.
Yeah.
But Heather, where does Heather live now?
Heather is in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah. So how long
she's doing nursing out there right now. And so they were very cool about letting her go. And so she's letting her come take. Okay. So her initial plan was 2 weeks, but they told her, however long you need. So, I mean, if she has to go back, she has to go back. But if she does, then I was going to fly right back, but I had a couple things I had to come home and do, and I did them. So if whatever we kind of find out today, if I need to go back, I have to go back. And so I haven't had to cancel anything yet, but I mean, if I do, I do. I don't care.
No, of course.
Obviously. So we don't, dude, it's not good. I don't know what to do. So, and it's really weird how the hospitals work. It's almost like they don't want you there because they know it's at the end,
Man.
so they're like trying to they've been like trying to push us out. And I'm like, they'd use this word. I don't know if you ever had to deal with something like this, but they go, what are your goals with your mom?
Yeah, that's what you were saying before. And you're like, to get her better. Well, obviously.
And they go, yeah. And they said, well, do you want her to go through rehab or do you want her comfortable? And I said, both. Why wouldn't you want both of those?
Right.
And then they kind of looked at me and almost reiterated it, like, no, you're not getting it. Do you want her comfortable? And I go, what do you really mean? And they said, well, she's a perfect candidate for hospice, which is a weird way to say,
right.
Because to me, hospice is the end.
But sometimes it's not. Because I know some people have gone, but it's like, and I don't want to be rude. And I know so many people are like, but I don't, if she's not eating is the main thing, right? Because you want her to eat. And I know you were battling with that and got her to eat her nuggets for a while. But then because she's also coming in and out of these lucid things.
She'll have a good day and then then few bad days. So,
but did they talk about a feeding tube? Would that help, or does that?
If that was an option, we would have done it already. Here's why it's not an option. Anytime you put someone under, it puts all this added stress, with anesthesia. So the doctor immediately, because that was the first thing I said. I goes, she's not eating. Let's put a feeding tube in her. And you have to have surgery because they implant it into your stomach right to, to it. And they said, yeah, if we have to put her under, there's a good chance she could go into cardiac arrest. And so they just said she's not a good candidate. But now we're at the point where she's definitely not eating. And when we talk to her about it, she goes, I'm not hungry. And how are you? You can hear her stomach growling a lot. But when she eats, it's so little. It's like nothing, dude. In our family, we're all chubby side. So she's, to see her like that she is now and to say she's not hungry, it's like, that's not true. But that's what her mind is telling her now, and she just doesn't eat. So I forgot what we were just talking about, but the feeding tube and thing. There was another thing. We also said putting a port in her, for IV and all that stuff, because her arms look like she's like a drug addict or something, because it's so black and blue from all the different times she's been poked, and she's got the tiny veins. So a lot of times they have a lot of difficulty even putting an IV in her. And they change that every couple of days for some reason, because it'll get infect. Oh, that was the other thing. She went through a bunch of infections and stuff, and they got her on all kinds of antibiotics. I mean, it's nonstop right now, Tommy.
Yeah, it's all just happening coming in at once. That's why it's so intense.
And then the other thing was they started asking me questions about like what was her? Does she have a DNR? Does she have like all this other stuff? And I'm like, here we were just talking about getting her up and walking. You're talking about this. So I got a little upset with him for a minute, and I was like, we're trying to save her, aren't we? And I think, it's just, it is what it is, but it's really difficult because you go to talk to her about it when she's slightly lucid. And, she doesn't want to go.
No. Well, that's when you were saying, when you mentioned how it's like she tried to eat as much as she could, like, clearly.
Yeah, that day she was good.
Yeah.
She was really good that day. But ever since then, my sister said she's had maybe one good day. And even after that, like, she slipped, that by the end of the day, she slipped right back into
where she's just gone.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, it sucks bad. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but
Well, you're doing everything you can. So,
yeah.
And you love her, and I'm glad Heather can be there with her, and you can be there in a moment's notice. But
this is the other
tough
thing
with the way just everybody being far. And
I highly recommend anybody, even if you're younger, to get your will in order, or at least your power of attorney stuff in order, because my mom told me she had all that done. She had said, I don't remember she never gave me a copy of anything, but she goes, oh, you're my power of attorney. And she told me she'd already set up all of her, like with the funeral home and everything, like what she wanted done and everything. And when all this was going on, the hospital was telling me to look into this. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, let me call. And I'm calling around. Literally not one person. There's no copy of anything. She didn't do any of it. So I don't know if I misheard her, which pretty guaranteed I didn't. But she thinks she did all this and she didn't. There's nothing. So luckily in my hometown, it's tiny and everybody knows us. So they're right away, everybody's jumping on board to help. So that's good. But like when somebody says, oh, you need to go in hospice, we're like, okay, but isn't there a lot of options for that? I don't really want her to be in a small town hospice, because I feel like she'd get better care at a bigger one, but I don't know. I don't know how any of this works. So luckily I have a lot of nurse friends, and I've been calling and talking to everybody trying to figure out what to do. But we found out that, when you're in a position like this, you let your primary care physician kind of be the quarterback. They kind of tell you what you shouldn't do. So I had my sister call her doctor, and we can't get her until like the 3rd week of June.
To even see her primary care physician?
Yep.
Wow.
It's that busy up there because it's such small towns that, everybody's trying to get in, and there's only one doctor to see or something, So it's all just so, it's like we don't have any good options. There's nothing, there isn't one where you're like, oh, that's obviously the way we should try. They all suck. And there's just, we got to pick whatever's the lesser of the two. Like, I hate to say it, but I think we're going to have to do that. If we want to help her, I think the feeding tube is the thing we're going to have to try, because she's not eating. So it's like, let her starve to death or let her risk this, and hopefully she comes out of it okay.
Yeah, get stronger. And then
what would you do?
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, inside you'd be like, no, I want to keep, but you want everybody to be
comfortable
and that they're best. And it's just so confusing. It's such a confusing system.
Very.
So knowing. That's why my parents, my dad is such a planner. So he's like, this is where we're going to move. And then this is where the assisted living is. That he's already got that.
Oh, really?
And then my mom.
That's awesome.
My mom's like, I'll be 1,000 and die in my van. And I'm like, you gotta have some type of plan. And nobody likes to think about that, obviously. But I feel for you so much. Like, and I am glad that you and your sister are working together, because I'm thankful for Annie, my older sister, and not to be like but I just know she's, during times like this, she's gonna be very nice to have around, because she's smart. And so Heather's super lucky to have you as well,
we're both kind of just bouncing things off of each other, because we both, luckily we've both been on the same page of everything too. So
is her fiance around, or what?
My sister's?
Your mom was.
My mom's fiance. But the more we learn, he's old too, man. He's like, I don't know how many years older than my mommy is, but he's definitely older. And so he's still he lost his last wife like 2 years ago on this like date. So he's like, it's all hitting him again too, and he's freaking out. But we have to keep telling him, it's not about you or us, it's about her. It's because he keeps bringing it back to all that. So anyways, comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Jesus. But that's what I've been dealing with a lot. So thankfully my schedule, I've only had like 1 gig a week, one night. Mm-hmm. So I flew out to do Dallas this past week, and then now I'm back home, and I'm debating whether I fly up right now or what do I do, because if they're moving her, she needs to get settled in there first, and we find out how that is. But she's kind of like staying stable sounds like she's in the exact same position she was in when I was there. Right. So
which is
if she takes
good, she's not getting worse.
It's not great. It's she's not getting better. She's not getting worse. So what do? I don't know. And everybody keeps writing me, I try to put little posts up to give everybody what's going on, but man, I know everybody's being super nice and everything, but sometimes people word things.
Yeah, I saw you write that. Yeah, and just obviously you're doing the best that you for her. So right, and then people being like, well, this is probably you
do this. You need to do this. You need to do that. And it's like, okay, what do you think we're doing? The doctors come to us going, hey, I don't know what to do. What do you guys want? You think
right?
We're trying everything. We're doing all the tests. We're doing all the scans.
And I've just been trying to check in with you, but I don't want.
I know you're not
stuff too, so I don't want to be like, how's your, But right. I just obviously I want to know. But
when it's close people like you, but I'm getting people, a lot of people I don't even know, and they're being super nice. They're being so nice to even care.
Right.
But when you're getting bombarded like 600-700 messages a day, it's I can't keep up with these, and I don't wanna.
Right. Yeah.
I don't mean to be mean back, or anything. I'm not trying to be, but it's overwhelming. So anyways, I appreciate everybody asking, but I'll post when I know more,
Right.